For decades, the politics of the Rio Grande Valley were a constant shade of blue. But like the river that separates Texas from Mexico, the hue may be getting more mixed and divided.
In Jesus' mighty name, and everyone says,
especially by faith. City Church in Harlingen is an evangelical church actively encouraging its flock to be militant about politics.
This twisted, demonic mentality, a perverted mentality. How in the world are you going to wait till that kid is 5, 6, 7, 8 years old to tell him what gender he is?
Rachel and Veronica Yanez called themselves reliable Democrats until 2016.
To me, in my opinion, my personal opinion, they're off from what the Hispanics actually believe. You know, we're about family, faith, and being there 100%. You know, when I see that more aligned with the Republican Party, especially with the faith side of it, there's just a lot of, I guess, weird things going on in the world, and it's just, that makes more sense, like voting conservative.
The sisters say their pastor, Luis Cabrera, mobilized them to vote and vote Republican.
So, you know, I encourage all my members that they have to vote. We even had a voting registration booth at our church many times.
Cabrera is a spiritual advisor to former Republican Representative Mayra Flores, who lost her election bid in the Texas 34th Congressional District, but says she'll compete for the seat again next cycle as the electorate becomes less reliably Democratic.
They have forgotten who we are here in South Texas. They've taken us for granted.
The pastor also advises Monica De La Cruz, who won a district next door redrawn to favor Republicans.
What it comes down to is that the Latinos here in South Texas are about faith, family, and freedom.
Cabrera, like his advisee, doesn't hesitate to mix his religion with politics.
Because God knows we need a red wave like never before.
And he's unapologetic about it.
Because I'm not a 501c3, I'm not under the IRS code, and so I'm free. I pay taxes just like everyone else. Our church pays taxes. When we go buy stuff for our church, we pay taxes. And so that gives us the freedom to engage in this political arena where pastors don't really get engaged.
Along the Texas-Mexico border, Hillary Clinton nearly swept those counties by an average of 33 points in 2016. Contrast that with 2020, where Donald Trump won 14 of those counties. And of the counties that voted for Democrat Joe Biden, the margin of victory was nearly halved. One explanation why may be religion. Along Texas's vast border counties, Protestants, mostly Pentecostal and Evangelical, are gaining numbers and influence. The Census of American Religion shows that in the heart of the Rio Grande Valley, where Cabrera's church is, around 1 in 5 identify as Protestant, a group that's twice as likely to identify as Republican than Democrat.
In liberation theology, the Catholic Church opted for the poor, but the poor themselves opted for Pentecostalism.
Andrew Chestnut literally wrote the books on Protestantism's inroads among traditionally Catholic Latin America and Latinos in the U.S.
Hispanic evangelicals are disproportionately Republican, probably not to the same degree, to the same extent that white evangelicals are, but yeah, no doubt.
And to see what's driving this change, we're going to meet one of the premier leaders of the Latino evangelical movement who is outspoken about life and politics in 2 languages.
In Sacramento, California, Pastor Samuel Rodriguez is just as charismatic but less confrontational. He's advised presidents, namely Barack Obama and Donald Trump, on the issue of immigration.
Like the Democratic Party went off the rails, like literally abandoned the Latino community, completely abandoned us. Our values. We are faith and family and freedom. We really are.
He says Democrats are losing sway, especially among his congregation.
Are the Republicans perfect? Heck no. So Latinos are going, we're going to reluctantly go this way. They do line up more with our faith values, Pentecostals, evangelicals. We wish Republicans were more compassionate with the immigrant.
Rodriguez, New Jersey-born to Puerto Rican parents, honed his craft as a preacher in Texas's Rio Grande Valley, often appearing on Fox News preaching a conservative message. He says he tries to combat hawkish stances of the show hosts on immigration.
If the Republicans get it right on immigration, they're going to lock in the Latino vote for generations to come. If they get it wrong, then we're going to continue to be the most independent voting bloc.
Back in Texas, Democrats in the Rio Grande Valley argue this is less about religion and more about Republicans falsely framing issues to their base.
These are some of the safest areas in the United States. We have some of the lowest levels of crime. And so it is totally inaccurate to say that it's unsafe or chaotic here along the border.
The U.S. Border Patrol says it had record amounts of migrants detained, processed, or expelled in 2022. That statistic made for a messaging cudgel for Republicans, although numbers were similarly high during the Trump administration.
We are the party that understands Hispanics do not worship government. We worship God.
The messaging is loud, religious, and brash, similar to the sermons at church, which congregants say is a wake-up call to align conservative Christian values with only one party. John Moan, Scripps News, Harlingen, Texas.